All right, friends, it's that time of year again, and you know what that means? You're hosting friends, you're hosting family, and everyone expects for you to make that special party and make something memorable with it. And you're going to come up with a signature cocktail, but are you going to serve eggnog? I doubt it. How about hot buttered rum? Probably not. Well, today we're going to show you something that has all kinds of holiday spice without being overwhelming, and it won't taste like dessert in a glass. It's a holiday twist on a classic cocktail, and right after these messages we'll show you how easy it is to make. Welcome to Bourbon Bill's Bar. From bold bourbons to timeless tiki, we explore the craft, culture, and charisma of mixology with vintage flair and modern swagger. Subscribe to join our speakeasy and ring the bell so you never miss a pour. Hey, welcome back to Bourbon Bill's Bar. If you're new here, I'm Bill. Now, we're all about mixing bourbons, craft cocktails, and adding a little bit of mischief along the way. So we're going to dive right into, this is absolutely one of my favorite holiday drinks, the Holiday Spiced Manhattan. Let's head over to the bar and I'll show you how easy it is to make. Okay, friends, here's a short list of what you're going to need. You're going to need a nice high-proof bourbon. A rye bourbon is good too. It just has a slightly different flavor profile, but if that's what you want to use, nothing wrong with that. We're going to use some vermouth. Now, there's three kinds of vermouth: dry, sometimes it's extra dry, rosso, which is a red vermouth, and a sweet vermouth. Today, we're using a sweet vermouth because this is the holiday season. All right, you're going to need a cherry for garnish. You're going to need a cinnamon stick a little later in the program. And for our holiday spices, you know, there's a lot of latitude that you can put into that. Today, we're going to just use the big three. We're going to use cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg. Now, if you want to try some dried oranges or allspice or star anise, you know, put those down in the comments and let me know how those worked out for you. And then, of course, we're going to need some a few shots of bitters here. Not shots, just a couple dashes of bitters, aromatic and orange bitters, just to kind of round out that flavor profile. All right, now let's just hop right in. We're going to start off, as we do in most of our episodes, with our Mixology and Craft Boston Shaker set. There's a link for how you can get yours down in the description right off of Amazon. All right, so we're going to just start off with just a couple agitator cubes. Now, this is not really a shaken drink. Now, there are shaken drinks and then there are stirred drinks. We're just going to use this as a mixing vessel today, but it's a stirred drink. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could shake it if you want to just, you know, have a little bit of showmanship, but it's really not necessary. All right, so the first ingredient, most important ingredient, is our bourbon. So today we're using Jim Beam. They must be doing something right. They've been around since 1790. Now, if you have a preference like Buffalo Trace, 1792, Bullet, any of those, I don't want the villagers with torches and pitchforks saying, "Why didn't you use this?" I'm just saying this is a mixed drink, so you know you don't have to have the most expensive bourbon, but people have their preferences, and you know what? This is your drink, not necessarily mine. So you use the bourbon of choice. I'm just saying make sure it's a decent bourbon, high proof. So next, that's 2 ounces of that. The next on the list, we mentioned the vermouth. We're going to use 1 ounce of vermouth. Put that in the jigger. Throw that in the mixing tin. And we done with that. All right. Now we're going to mix up some holiday spice here. And the simplest way, I mean, I could just do some dashes in the in the tin, but I want to control about how much I want to put in. Ultimately, I want to put about a half a teaspoon of spice into this. I don't want this to be a muddy, bunch of sediment on the bottom drink. I just want enough introduced into the drink to add that warm, cozy holiday spirit. So today we're using Badia products. We're using cinnamon as the first, and about 3 or 4 dashes of that. We like Badia products because they're gluten-free, they're inexpensive, and they're found just about everywhere, so you shouldn't have any problem. Next is some ground clove, a couple little dabs of that, and last but not least, nutmeg. Now, if you're early in the holiday season, say you're trying to do something for a Thanksgiving, not necessarily the later season, New Year's, Christmas, Hanukkah, and all that. If you're doing something, for Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, maybe try some pumpkin spice in this. That might be interesting. So, but for this, we're going to do some nutmeg. Throw that in. My son and my daughter-in-law, they went on their honeymoon in Grenada. Some people call it Grenada, but it's Grenada. And they just fell in love with nutmeg. It's the island of the spices. All right, we're going to take our mixing spoon. We're going to give that a good little stir, kind of mix that up a little bit. And we're going to scoop up about a half a teaspoon, bar spoon, and throw that in the tin. Alrighty. Now, we mentioned that we're going to add some bitters to this. Now, we want a little bit of complexity to this drink. After all, we're doing this as really a gift to our friends, are we not? Okay. Well, the beauty of this is you saw the ingredients that were in this, and if you have a whole bunch of people coming to your holiday party, like we have a whole lot of people coming to our annual holiday party, you can batch this up, and all you got to do is just multiply the ingredients, and then you can just make a picture of this, and that way you're not standing behind the bar the whole night, or your bartender's not stuck behind the bar the whole night. He can just readily pour, get those drinks out in front of your friends, and off they go. All right, so we're going to add in 2 dashes of Angostura orange bitters, which everybody seems to have that on the bar. Now for the aromatic bitters, we actually prefer strong water bitters. My daughter turned me on to this. They're a great product, and again, both of these are listed for your convenience down below in the description. So we're going to take this and add just a couple dashes in. Now, Wheeler, they say, what's the difference between a dash and a splash? A dash is really just like a couple of drops, where a splash is when it hits, it makes a splash. Like half to a teaspoon of whatever it is you're putting in, okay? So it's not exactly scientific, but you kind of get the idea. All right, so we're going to give this a good stir, and we just want to kind of chill it down, give just a little bit of dilution. Okay, now some people will use a shaker and go ahead and shake the drink. And let me let you in on a little insider secret. Sometimes we shake things really well for 2 reasons. One, it adds a little aeration to the mix, but it also takes the edge off crappy booze. All right, so we have that ready to go. And don't skimp on cheap vermouth. Get a decent vermouth. It's like anything, if you use quality ingredients, you're going to get a better outcome. All right, so we're going to just scoop in some ice into our rocks glass. Say that 3 times fast. All righty. Now, what you can do is a little bit of foresight and a little bit of foreplanning. You can put a bunch of rocks glasses in the freezer, so it comes out and they're frosty and they look gorgeous. All right, so we have that. We're going to take our mix. We're going to pour that right in. Look at that golden amber color. You can use a strainer, but honestly, there's nothing like pulp or anything that will go in that really you need a strainer for. But you know, some recipes will say use a strainer, and it's like, okay. So we have that. Now, that's great, just like it is, and you know, you could just shove that right in front of your friends and get them up to, you know, having in more enjoyment in your event. But you might have noticed we have this bag of body of cinnamon sticks. So we're going to garnish this up a little bit with a cinnamon stick. Now, you can take some of those dried oranges that I showed you a little bit earlier. You could use that as a garnish. That makes a wonderful garnish, you know, but it gets a little pricey after a while. But you can do that, or if you can just slice up some onions, put them in a dehydrator, and those are good to go. But you know, some people prefer a cherry with their Manhattan. So we have some skewered cherries. We're going to go ahead and throw that in the mix too. And there you have it, the awesome holiday spiced Manhattan. Now, I'm going to go enjoy this with Bootleg Mini. And if you have some suggestions for some cocktails, put them down in the comments and let me know what city you're in. Now, we have a lot of viewers from all over. We have our regulars that come on the show, you know, and we have some that come from down under. We've had some from New Zealand and Australia. We had one from Finland. We've had a few folks from Japan. But, you know, just put down in the comments how this worked out for you. If you made any variations to the recipe, and especially what city you're from. And that's the awesome holiday spice Manhattan. Let's see how that works out. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. Hey, if you know somebody that you think would benefit from this recipe, go ahead and share that out. And while you're at it, go ahead and give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we upload new content to this channel. Well, that's it for today. This is Bourbon Bill at Bourbon Bill's Bar, wishing you a happy holidays. Have a great, safe, fun holidays, and we'll see you next time. Hey, Bourbon Bill here. Check out some of our other videos while you're here. We'll see you.